Willie D Live.
What's up, family? This story has been out there for a while, but lately it's been gaining a lot of traction. Family, you ready? You ain't ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We got a Democrat-owned bank in Maryland that got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, sponsoring Republican initiatives. Yeah, fam. They've been kicking down paper, fam, for the Republican Party. Yeah. Let's check out this article in Punchbowl. Democrat-funded firm banks several GOP campaigns. A small Maryland bank, launched and led by a former House Democrat, has become home to a striking number of Republican campaigns, according to a review of federal election records. Forbright Bank was founded by former Representative John Delaney, Maryland, husband to current Representative April McClain Delaney. In recent years, and particularly since 2024, Forbright has banked a growing amount of high-profile GOP campaigns. The effort to block Virginia Democrats from adopting their redistricting referendum banked with Forbright. The Club for Growth has several campaign arms banked with the Maryland lender, including Club for Growth Action and Win It Backpack. McClain Delaney, currently locked in a competitive June primary against former Representative David Trone, jointly owns between $25 million and $50 million in Forbright Bank stock per a 2025 financial disclosure. We can stop right there, fam. We can stop right there because you see what it is. You see exactly what it is. The same thing I've been saying. And you know, the Democrats don't like when I say this because they think somehow, some way, it's going to stop people from voting. I don't think what I'm going to say is going to stop most people from voting. It may stop a few people from voting, but I don't think it's going to stop any more people from voting than the people that wasn't serious about voting in the first place. You see what I'm saying? But here's the deal, fam. I've been telling y'all that the Democrats have been working with the Republicans, or the Democrats, the Republican Party, have Democrats on their team. How else do you explain Democrats just sitting back watching a lot of this stuff happening? And we feel helpless as citizens. We're just citizens, right? Yeah, we got some action at the ballot, but after that, you know, they get to do what they want to do, pretty much. And the oversight is supposed to be done by their colleagues in Congress, but that's not happening. I mean, you see things that Trump's doing, and you go like, damn, man, can anybody stop this train? Can anybody stop him? Nobody, it seems, is doing anything about it. Not the courts, not Congress. And why is that? That is because you got Democratic moles out there. You got people who are in the Democrat Party who is on the Republican payroll. That's right, I said it. People like April Delaney. Yeah, man. We're talking about a sitting member of Congress. How is it that a sitting member, a Democratic sitting member of Congress, husband owns a bank that funds Republican initiatives, that give money to Republican campaigns? You know, they say a house divided cannot stand. You know that there's no infighting between her and her husband. They're on the same page. You better believe that. They're absolutely on the same page because women follow their husband's politics. Mostly, right? Mostly. Women follow their husband's politics. And if somebody is a sitting member of Congress, the whole damn house is going to vote that way. Anybody living under that roof is going to be voting for whatever party that person belongs to. And this is not just recent years where Democrats are sitting back watching things happen. This is over the history of the parties. This is over the history of the parties. When you look at all of the atrocities that have happened to Black people, it's happened on the Republicans' watch or the Democrats' watch. If it happened on the Republicans' watch, the Democrats watched it happen. If it happened on the Democrats' watch, the Republicans watched it happen. So that whole thing about, well, we don't have the votes, that ain't enough, because both sides get their turn, seesawing. That's all it does. We vote for this party, they don't give us what we want, then we vote for this party, they don't give us what we want, then we vote for this party, they don't give us what we want, then we vote. We just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and nothing gets done. Nothing. These people are in the same car. They're riding in the same car. They're going to the same destination. Yeah, you got some person come down to personalities and things, and yeah, you can move the bar some, and yeah, the Republicans are more crud. They tend to be more uncivilized, you know, they tend to be more rowdy and violent, right? But the Democrats are too. Oftentimes they use the Republicans to do their bidding. The Democrats have had many opportunities, ample opportunity, to get rid of the KKK. They've had ample opportunity to prosecute, to convict, to jail these militias, these anti-Black organizations, these violent groups, these violent extremist groups that are right here in America. But what have they done? Nothing. They do the same thing the Republicans do. Nothing. You know what it reminds me of? The Democrat Party reminds me of an abusive husband or boyfriend. They whoop on your ass and then bring you some flowers. Knowing you like flowers, it's going to be hard to resist them flowers because you love flowers. Or they buy you something nice, buy you a nice gift. And you want the gift so bad, you want it so badly that you forgive them for their transgressions. You let it slide. You know it's messed up, and you wish you could do better, but you don't think you can do better. So you stay with them. And then you deal with the BS. You deal with the BS. You're hoping to get better. Seems like it's getting better. Seems like things are getting better. Oh, it's getting better. Next thing you know, boom, bust you in the eye again. That's what the Democratic Party is to me. When I look at the Democratic Party in Texas, the Texas Democrat Party, the Harris County Democrat Party, which covers Houston, I've seen something in the last few years, fam, that really opened my eyes. Sometimes you got to get behind, you got to get behind the scenes and see what's going on. Sometimes you got to get all the way in there to see what's going on. You can see what's going on from the outside, but no matter how smart you think you are, no matter how much intel you think you got from watching it on the outside, going on the inside, when I ran for city council, boy, I saw it firsthand, fam. It's different. Yeah, man. Yeah, you get to see. It's almost like hearing about slavery. You heard about it, but you haven't heard about it in detail. And you start hearing these stories in details, and it just breaks your heart. It's nauseating. It's cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded. So just like John Fetterman is not the only Democratic mole in the Democrat Party. There are others. Again, fam, you got to think. How much has been really getting done? How much has gotten done? Not a whole lot. They haven't been able to get a whole lot done. And they always talk about change is going to be slow. You know, progress is slow. That's what they like to say. Progress is slow. Now, you slow if you think I don't know. I see what they're doing, fam. If the Democrats were about it like the Republicans, things would actually happen a lot faster. If they decided we're going to rule with an iron fist, then things would happen like that. You see how things seem to happen overnight for anything Trump wants. When they decided to implement that 2025 agenda, they was doing it just like that. They're just going in executive, just doing whatever they want to do, just doing it. They're just doing it. All that waiting and shit, you ain't got to do all that waiting. Not if you really want to do it. You ain't got to do all that waiting. They know how to get around it. They know what to do if they want to do it. They want to change the law. They can change the law. All they got to do is go in the room. This is what we doing, man. And get it done. They can do it. All that, we ain't got the votes, man. They holding their nuts. That's game. That's cap. Yeah. I'm not saying that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are the exact same parties, but they're absolutely made in the same factory. Yeah. They come off the same assembly line. Straight up. They come off the same assembly line. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, I didn't show y'all a picture of it. There goes April right there. That's April. And that's food. That's her husband, John, right? This is the guy. You think they're not on the same page? Look at him. You think they're not on the same page? He sent her to Congress to get inside. He sent her to Congress to compromise the vote, to ear hustle for the Republicans. That's the game. That's how it's played. That's what they do. They do not care. Neither side cares. Not just about black people. White people, they don't care about y'all. Hispanic, Asian, they don't care about y'all. You think they really care? They don't care about y'all either. Y'all are just as much of pawns as we are. This is akin to an unfit mother, so to speak. An unfit mother is an unfit mother to her kids, period. So she favors one. One don't get their ass whooped as much, but they still neglected. They still get neglected. They're still unprotected. That's hitting home, ain't it? Yeah, I thought so. No more talk.